Power BI, that is the PH community. We have come together to on this Saturday, and it's a beautiful morning here in India. And we have Vahid joining us from Australia. So he's a business intelligence analyst and a extremely good contributor to the Power BI community. He's a super user too, and we are extremely glad to host him today here. Vahid, welcome to the user group event, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Vahid Doustimajd, and I'm very happy and super excited to be here. Thanks for having me, and thanks to the organizer to organize this session. So let me just share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just first introduce myself. Okay, so as I told you, my name is Vahid. I'm originally Persian, if you know that name is, but I'm living in Sydney right now. So I'm the Microsoft certified trainer and data analyst with more than 10 years of experience with the passion for the Power BI, DAX, Power Query, and creating dashboards and reports. I'm the super user in Power BI community. If you don't know the Power BI community, I highly recommend you to go and find that and start be an active user there. You can find many question and answers there, many sample of works there. So I'm very happy to be a super user there. I'm working in the project management area. All of my experience are in the project management area, but I'm working as a data analyst in the project management area. Because of that, I have the PMP, project management professional certification. I'm the technical person with plenty of the enthusiasm of the Power BI and the DAX. So when I'm looking for the new things, reading the blogs, and then always following the technology, because I'm a technical person. I'm the leader of the Persian Power BI user group. It's a new Power BI user groups, and our plan is to hold 2 sessions in each month. We already held 2 sessions with Reza and Sohail, and then we have a plan to hold other sessions in the future. And I'm the active blogger. I have a weblog that I post some articles every month, and I'm learner. So I'm still learning, and that's never gonna finish. So yeah, that's a brief about me. So let's move to agenda. What we want to do, and let's tell you about why I selected this topic to add some cool features to create a user-friendly reports. You know, most of us have created many reports and shared that with end users, and sometimes some small features can help end users to find better insight from our reports and then use that more than before, and then will be more helpful. Previously, I created a report, and one of my top managers asked me, is it possible to add a dark mode to that report? I want to check that report during the night, and that's very hard for me to read that shiny, brighty report on my tablet, and I will lose all my eyes if I read that report for 2 hours. So I said, yeah, maybe it's possible. Let me work on that. So in this session, I want to cover the dark mode, how we can add the dark mode to the reports without any bookmark, and then I will show a little bit about the HTML tags. We can use the HTML in Power BI. There are many items and there are many tags and codes we can use in HTML, but I want to focus on HTML tags in this session, and then I want to show you how to add a guide to your report because it's very normal and common when end user open the dashboard, ask question, what this visual shows us and what this visual indicate to us, and then how I can filter those visuals, and then how use the report. So it's a little bit normal. It's a normal thing in the reporting. So I will show you how to add a guide to help end user to find the information about the visuals and how to filter those visuals. So let's start with the dark mode. Let's say, what is the dark mode? The dark mode is probably one of the most popular features in the modern user interface, from apps to operating system, Apple to Google, smartphone to laptops. So if you use that right now, open website, you can find a toggle or find a button in that the website to switch between the dark mode and the light mode, or even in your phone or some mini softwares, you can find a button to switch between the dark mode and the light mode. But what dark mode means, that means instead of the default dark text showing up against the light screen, known as the dark light mode, we want to use the light color text is presented against the dark or black screen. So we just want to switch the background color with the font color from the dark to the light. But the Power BI right now doesn't have that feature. Power BI mobile apps has that feature, but if you want to add that to your report, it's a little bit tricky, because if you want to use the bookmark, you can just set the bookmark for one page. But if your report has more than one page, 3 or 2 page, and if you want to just click on one button and that change the theme of all report pages, we need to use the DAX and then some conditional formatting and add that to a report. And it's right now is a little bit easier than before with the new format pan, because they added more options to there, so it's a little bit easier than before. In the past, we didn't have some features to add a conditional formatting, for example, for the access to font, but right now we have those options. We have some limitations right now, but I'm pretty sure in the future the Power BI team will cover that and add those options to the Power BI. So if you want to add the dark mode to all reports, first of all, we need to add a toggle. We need to add a toggle to switch between the dark mode or the light mode. We can add a button, but I like to use the toggle between the dark mode and light mode. And then we need to, for example, I created this sample report. We need to find out how to group those items to create a different DAX to change those colors. Because, for example, if we want to change to the dark mode, the page background should be a dark color, but the font, as you can see in the red, the font should be with the light color. For example, the fonts will be with white and the page background will be the black. And then we have the title of the background, so we need to change that during the light mode and the light mode and dark mode. And then we have the visual background with contrast. We need to change that to a little bit. If we use the dark color in the page background, we need to use a little bit lighter color in the visual background to create a better contrast. So I grouped them to 5 categories, and one of them, the last one, is visual border and the shadow. If we want to change for example, in the light mode, we can use the black as the border here, but if we toggle to the dark mode, we need to change that to the light color. So let me just share my Power BI. Let's close this one and share my another screen. So if I close this one, move it here. Okay, so I created this report. Is a sample report with some visuals, and then added 2 pages to this report. Page 1, page 2 with different visuals. So first of all, we need to add a toggle to switch between the dark and light mode. So I will use the toggle custom visual. So if you go into the here in the Power BI visual and search for toggle, then you can find this advanced toggle. So let's add that to our report. Okay. Okay, so I will add this to the repo. So I need to add the data here. So I will create a custom table here with entering data. I will name it dark mode and then set dark and light and name it as a dark mode. Okay, so I'm going to add that column to this custom visual to the toggle, and you can see it will create a toggle for us with the title at the top. So let's change some of the configuration here. So we don't need to show the header. So without header, and then let's make it a little bit smaller. So I think this size is good, or a little bit smaller, like this. Okay, so add it here. Okay, let me just turn off the. Okay, so this one is off. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to say if the value for on, if the toggle shows on here, we want to return the light, and then when we turn it off, return the dark mode for us. So if we want to test that one now, let's add it card here, and then create a measure, a very small measure with a selected value to see how this toggle works for us here. So dark, light, and it says selected value with the dark. No. And if I add this one, to here, it shows light, and if I change this to the dark, it will show dark here. So the toggle works well now. What we need to do to add some icon here to explain that, to show that to the end user, which the off and on shows what the meaning of them. So what I want to do is I will add a text box here. I will add a text box here. So I will press the window, keep the windows and press dot to add some emoji here. So, and then I will select, should be here. I will select this one, the sun, as a light for the light mode. Make it a little bit bigger with 16. And then let's turn off the background. Yep. And move it here. Okay, and then we copy that, paste it here. Add it here, and then change it to the dark. I will use another emoji for that one. So, use this one instead of that. So, make it 16. Okay. So now we have a toggle configured. So let's just remove the background for this one, effect, background off, and then here, everything set. Okay, so now what we want to do, we want to first, let's start with the background color. So if you go to the background, to the field, to here, there is no option to add, to change that with the formula. So we can change it with the manually, but it's not possible to change that with the DAX code. So what we want to do, I will add another a shape here. Let's use this rectangle here, and then we cover all area of our repo. And then here we will say don't fill that one. And then in general, we want to add a fake, a background. We will use this conditional formatting. But before that, let's move that to in the selection bookmark. We need to move that one to the end to move it behind all visuals. And then we need to create a measure for that one. So let's say, let's change this one to the background color, and then move it here and say if the selected dark is not dark, and then we want the a little bit dark color there. So we can use the hex color here. So I will use one dark color here like this, 3F, and then into double quotation. And then if we want to, if it's not dark, it means it's light. We want to show the white color as a background color of the report. So we will use the white color here. So let's check that one. So here we selected that shade we created and added to the report. Click on this conditional formatting, and then here we can add the field value and then select our background color and then select OK. And if we go and advanced toggle, switch between this one to the light, you can see it will change the color of the background color to the dark and light. So let's for that one, we need to turn off all the background for these visuals because right now the background of these visuals covered this area. So we will turn off that, and we will in future in close future we will turn it on to add another measure to add another and different color for the background of the visuals. Okay, so right now we added the dark background for our report. What we need to do, we need to, and then you can see that fonts are not readable. So we need to make sure those fonts are white or light gray. So what I'm going to do, I will add another measure here. So I will on new measure, and name it font, and when it's dark we want a white color. Want to know how to find this hex code? You can go to one of these colors. For example, here in the, if you turn it on here, if I want to change the color, select the more color and then find your color you want to use, and then copy this and use it in the DAX. So I want to use the totally white color, so I will use 6F, which will return the white color, and then a black color here. So let's say okay. Turn off this. So here, if I want to change the font color of this visual, I need to assign that font color measure to the legend and then to the axis font. So let's start with the x-axis font. So here we have a font. So do the same what we did for the background, but in this case we will use the font color. And then here, font color, maybe I write the wrong code. If it's dark. Okay. Okay, let me just change this. Something is not correct here. So let me just update this one. Oh, I forgot to add the hash here. Okay. Okay, so corrected that measure. So let's assign it again. Field value here, font color, okay. And then, yeah, so right now, the color of our font, the font axis font is white. And if I move to the dark mode, it will be black. So we need to assign that font to all of these fonts in the legend and the axis. So let me do it fast. So here, if I change it to field value and then the font here as well. Okay, so let's add it here. Oh. Okay, finally. And then for this one as well, axis, we have the X and Y axis here, so we need to add it here. And the y-axis as well. Okay, and then here we want to change this one as well. So add the field value, font color here, so to the legend and the other axes as well. I think my computer is a little bit slow. Let me just turn off my camera. Maybe it's because of that. And close this off first. Okay, I think now it's a little bit better. So let me just change the color of this one as well. Font color. And then the legend here. Okay, so right now we added the dark and light mode for the background color of our report and the font color for the X and Y axis and the legend, but without any bookmark. But what we need to do, we need to add some other, we need to create some measures to change the color of these headers as well. So we can use the font color for the header as well. So let's use that as well. So in the legend, in the text, in the title, in the text, you can use the field value, font color. And here as well, we can edit field value, font, and this one, font color. So if I switch to the right and then switch to the dark, we have all of this information here. So we have this title here. So this one is a little bit tricky because This is the text box, and if we don't have that option to add a conditional formatting here. So how we want to do that? I want to remove this one and then add it in the title, because in the title we have that option. So remove that one, add the text in the title, set the font size and the font, the font you want to use, then add that field value, the font color measure as well to here, and then yeah, so then you can move from the light to the dark mode, and then apply the color to the text box as well. So there are some other limitation in the Power BI right now. One of them is the text box, but I will show you how we can use the HTML text to cover that those limitations. But there is another limitations, because if we want to add that conditional formatting for the second axis here, it's not possible. So there is no option for edit there. And then if you want to create add it as a table, you need to set the conditional formatting for each column you added to the table one by one to change the color of the text. And then you can't change the column header, font colors right now, but I'm pretty sure in the future Power BI will add those features to the Power BI desktop. But right now everything is okay, but we need to create another measure to change the color of the background color of the visuals, to make a little bit contrast, to make it easy to read. So let me just name it visual background, and then if selected value dark, then if it's dark, we want to return a little bit lighter color. Let's use this one instead, and then the white for the light mode. Okay. And then here we need to assign that one as a conditional formatting for the visual background. So select the visual, go to the general, and then select the effects, and then the background you can turn it on and add field value, and then select the visual background, and then do it for all the visuals on your report. Visual background, and then here for this one as well. But you know, to make it right now is we create a good contrast to show our visuals a little bit, to divide or split the visuals from the background. But I think we need to add another color, or use the background color for the background of the header to make it a little bit nicer. So here in the title, in the backgrounds, let's assign the background color. Background color here, and background color here. Okay, and here, or this one as well. Background color. Okay, so now it's better than before. So let's check it. In the light mode, we have a dark text or dark font, and then the white background or light background. And in the dark mode, we have a dark background with the light fonts here. So what we need to do to make it a little bit more beautiful than before, we need to change the color of this border. So the border color can be derived with the font color, the same measure we created for the font color. So here in the effect, if I go to the visual border and change it to the font color, then you can see it will be white during the light mode, and it's better than before. So let me just assign that one. Okay, so if I change it to the light mode, the border is dark, is black, and then if I move toggle to the dark mode, this one is the border is white or is light. You can do and add it to the shadow as well, but I don't want to do it to keep some time for the other title. So right now we created that one for one page. If we want to use that to another page, we need to do the same. So just added the bar shape here, and then our area, put it in the end of in the selection panel to put it behind all visuals, and then in the style turn off the fill, and then in the background, in the effect, the background, add that background fill value, background color. So okay, so right now if I copy paste this one, this three, if I copy them, paste them in the another one, it will ask, do you want to sync that? I would say yes. And then if I turn it off to switch to the dark mode, it will be dark for both pages. And then if I in page one switch to the light mode, it will be light mode here. So what we need to do, we need to assign all of those measures to all visuals here. And then if we have more fonts and more pages, we can add and assign them as a custom, as the conditional formatting. And then with one button in one page, we can change the theme for that report, all pages of that report. So without any bookmark, because I told you the bookmark will change the color or change the theme for just one page. Not you can't change it for 2 or 3 pages. So this is the okay. So let's move to the HTML. If there is any question so far, please let me know. Otherwise, I will move to the HTML tags.
Yes, thank you so much, Vahid. Actually, there is one question from YouTube Live.
Yeah. Okay. What's that?
Okay. Let me just paste into chat window. Just a minute. Okay, the question is, can we change the transparency of the shape by formula like color background?
Transparency of the color.
Transparency of the shape. Yeah.
We can, but not with the tags and the shape. If we want to say, okay, black with 70% transparency, it's a little bit hard because we can't change it with the tags. At least I don't know that. But with the HTML, yes, we can do it. We can, or otherwise, you can find we can find the color if it's a black, but you want to change the transparency to 50%, you can go and find a similar color and use that to use that in the for the shape background. Or otherwise, you can just go there, style, and then change it, and then use the transparency here. So yeah, if you go there and then turn off this one, and then assign it as a background color, it will change. And then if I change it to the advanced toggle, yeah, here, so you can go there, start, and change the transparency. Yeah, it's possible. But if you ask that we can define the transparency in the DX code, I don't think so it's possible, but you can find the same color to this one and use that one.
Thank you so much, Vahid. That answers the question.
Okay. So.
All right. So I think we can move forward. Yeah.
So let me just move to the HTML tags. So we saw we have some limitation in tags, text boxes. For example, if let me just add another page to my report. Okay, so if I create a text. If I add a text box here, and then write the text here, example. I add this on and I change the color to black, and then it a little bit bigger. So if we want to add the light and dark mode to the text, it's very hard. It's not possible with this one because we can't change the we can't assign the conditional formatting to change the color of this area. Or if we want to assign, for example, highlight the text, highlight the PH or Delhi or the Power BI, for example, with different colors, or we can say if we want to create a text box, in a smart text box with some measures to show the total value, and if the total value is more than, for example, 1,000, we want to highlight that with green, and if it's less than 100,000, we want to highlight that in the red. It's not possible with the text box. So what we need to use, we need to use the HTML and write some codes and use some tag and add some function and add those functions to the text box. So what I will do, and the other thing before I move on, another limitation for this one, we can't change the text size if we added smart narrative or if we added text box. We can't change we can't assign give an option to the end user to change the text size and make it more readable for itself. So what we need to do is to use the HTML custom visual. Special thanks to Daniel for creating that great custom visuals. It's not done only that one, it's the Daniel as well. So thank you, Daniel. So let me just remove this one. Let me just copy this text and remove this one. And then here I already added that one, is the HTML content. But if you want to find it here, if you type HTML, you can find this one, the HTML content created by Daniel. So I added that before, so I just added here, and then I want to create some measure and use that in this HTML. So if I name it text HTML and then add that text here, and put it in the value, it will show that text here. So it's same as what we can do with that text that measure in the card or anywhere else, because we added that between two double quotations. But what we want to do, we want to add 2 or 3 paragraphs here and then change the color and add some cool features to this text. So first of all, we need to add some tag to here. For the text, we can use the paragraph or the headline tag. We can use the P, because I want to use that, because if you want to add 2 paragraphs in this one, if I just add this one here and then set the total value here, and it didn't consider that as another paragraph, or it didn't consider that shift enter or go to another line. What I want to do, I want to put it in the paragraph here with this one, and then close the paragraph here, P here, and then add another paragraph here before that, and then close that here. What will happen? The HTML will consider that this line is one paragraph and this one is another paragraph, and we'll add that space between those two. So this is good if we want to add 2 or 3 paragraphs in the text box, or if we want to use the headline, we can use a H1 and then the H1 here. Then you can see the size and the type of the font is a little bit different, but in this case, we will use just a paragraph here. So okay, So now we added the paragraph here. What we want to do to add more information here. So we want to highlight. We want to first of all, let's change the font size here. If we want to change the font size here, I will start to add some style here. So I will start to style and then close the style here. Add some style for the paragraph, open this bracket and then close this here. So add the first thing I want to add here is the color of the font size of my text. So if I write font size here and then add 10 pixels, for instance. So if I click on this one, it's very small. So if I add 100 pixels, so it will be very big here. So what can I do? I can give an option to the end user to change that with one slicer. So let's keep it as 40. And then I will add the parameter here. So here I will add a new parameter here. And let's say font size, and then whole number from 0 to 100, let's say, and then yeah, add a slicer. So let's keep it here and make it a little bit smaller, and then make it 20. So when we add that one, it automatically will create one measure for that with the selected value for the font size. We want to use this measure in our HTML measure. So what I want to use, I will use some variable font size here, and then equal to the font size value. So, and then return, and here I will change this 40 with the double quotation to close that one, and then and using that variable here, and then double quotation here. So if I use this one, if I change this, I can change the color of the text. So it's not possible with the normal text box, but you can do it with the HTML here. And then the other thing we can do is to add some to highlight part of this, for example, with this text. What we want to do, for example, we want to highlight the Power BI with one color. There are two ways to do it. I can add the mark tag here and then close it here, mark here, and it will highlight that with yellow. But if you want to change that, if you want to highlight that with another color, for example, blue or light or something else, we need to use the span. We need to use the span, set this area in the span, we want to apply this condition to it. So what I will do, I will add a span here, span, and then close the span here, and then if I click on that one, because we didn't add any condition here, nothing will happen. So first thing we want to add, let's add a style let's add some style for this one. We want to change the background color to, for example, green, and then close this one. So you can see you can highlight that with the green or any other colors. If you say light green, you can highlight that with the highlight green, or even you can use the custom column. If you go there, if you find that hex code of the color, for example, here, if I go this, like this one, and here in the color, rather than that light color or dark color, if I use this color, you can see you can use the hex color. So you can find the color you want to use and then use that in here with the background color. Or if you want to make this one a little bit bigger or bold, that one, there are many ways to do that, but I like to use the drawing. So I will use the drawing here and then close the drawing here. And that will be bold, like here. So let's move it to let's create a variable with this one and then add a key here to drive between the highlight the text, or you don't want to highlight the text, or you can create a measure and say if the total value is more than 1000, make it green, or less than that, make it another color. So it's easy. Let me just add one variable here to highlight my text and say if before that, let me just add one custom column here, custom table here for highlight here, and then add yes and no, name it highlight. Okay, and then if I add that one to the slicer here, okay, and in this one we said if selected value for the highlight color equal to yes, want to use this one, the span. Let's copy this one here and then add it here with between two table. Otherwise we just want to show the Power BI. Okay, so rather than this area, this one, we will remove this and then add the quotation and that measure we created here, and then again close that one. So if we click on yes, it will highlight that text. If you click on no, it won't highlight that one. Rather than this measure, you can add more measure here and complicate a measure to say if the, for example, and the value here, if the value is bigger than the amount or less than the amount, or whatever you want, and then assign the color for that area. But right now we added this one, so we want to add another paragraph with the value of those countries we have in this table, the countries and the sales that I use to create a report. So if I go there, here, if I add another paragraph with the total value or total sale is, let's keep it as 1 for now. That's 1. Okay, so the total sale is 1, but we want to change that 1 to the total number. So if I change that to sale and create a variable for sale and then say let's use the gross sale here and then add it to that variable to our HTML code. So say that one plus the sale and then close that one. So it will show that number. But if we want to change that to show as a currency, we can change that format to the currency, and it will be a currency. And if you want to remove those decimal numbers, we can use, rather than that, we can use 0.00, and then that will show this one. So right now, if I add another slicer here, let's move it, click yes, and move it. Yes, just make it a little bit smaller, then add some room here. So if I add another slicer with the country name, where is the country here? And as a slicer here, if I change that one to Mexico, it will show this total amount for Mexico, and then the other, if I change it a bit to France, we show the total sale for France. But what I want to do now, I want to add the flag of that country behind this total sale. So it's possible with HTML. So what I want to do is to add another variable with the flag. Or before that, let's add the name of the country. beyond that one. So the country name will be selected value, and then the country, and add it before this one. So here we will add it will shows the France because we will select France and Germany here. So if we want to add the flag here, so we need to use the flag, and then we need to use another HTML code, which is the image. So I will say image, and the source will be this one. I will use the online source. For example, this is the Brazil. I find it here. I will copy this image address and we use it here. And then close this one. And if I add the flag before this, add the flag before this one, and this one, it will show the flag, but it's very big, and because that there is no space to show that. So we will add it. We will make it a little bit smaller. So I will close this one, and then say with this one here. So what's wrong? Let me just check this one with. Okay. And then if I add this PNG to okay, so now we have the flag of Brazil, but we want to make sure when we select the country, the flag of that country appear in your report. So we will add this the country here. So we have the country name here. So we will close that one and add that one with the country, and then add that one with the. So if we put the variable country here, but it doesn't work. Why? Because this one starts with the capital word letter, but in here in the website we use the lowercase. So what I will do, I will change that one to the lower country name. So just using the lower and then the country, and then using that LC rather than this one here. So if I add that, if I select Germany, we can see the Germany here. So if I select the France, we can select the France here, and then Canada as well, and Mexico as well. So if right now I added that, it's not possible to add that with the text box, but with the HTML, many things are possible. So this is just some small things about that. So we added this one here, but what we want to do, we want to change that code. We want to change the font of this to the Google font. So what we need to do in your text one, we need to add another link to Google font. I copy paste that from the website. So you can search that using the Google font in HTML, and then you can find this one. So, and then in the in here, we need to add some font family options. So font family, you can say, so same as the name we use here. So if I use Sophia, close that one, and using the sans serif here. And Sophia sans serif. So here, if I add Sophia, and then, yeah, so family. Okay, so right now we change that to the Sophia font from the Google Google phone with that phone family and then use the link HTML. So if we want to change that, if we go to the Google font here, so I open that one, select one. If I want to change for this one, we just need to copy this one and paste it in our code and paste it here, and then you can change it to whatever you want from the Google font. So yeah, and then you can change the font size as well. But what we need to do more, as you can see, when you move that to the Sophia, on that some part of my text is not available in its text box. So I will use the padding in here to make some room for my piece, my text box. So if I add this one, so now it's appears. So I added some room for my text box. So right now we can use that Google font, and if you wanted to add more Google font to our report, we can create another table. We can create another table, for example, with this name. Right now it's created Google font, and then this one, and then Sophia, for instance, and then another one from here, for example, this one. I like it. And here, if I add that one as a slicer here, and in our code, add another Google font, G font to here, and selected value as a G font here, and then we want to use this to the bit rather than the Sophia here. So we will close this one and then add G font here, and then add this one here, and then we need to change this one as well. Change this one as well. Here. So G font here. Okay, so if I select one of these, now, okay, so if I select this one, I can move between the phones I added from the Google font. So I can change the Google font, I can change the country here with the flag, I can just set, highlight that or don't highlight that, or even I can change the text font, text size here, and you can add all those information to your report to give that option, those options to your end user. The last thing I want to use the marquis tag. What marquis tag will add some action to your text. So if I add that to this one, you can see it will start moving from the left from the right to the left. But let's change the speed of this one. So scroll amount to 20%. So it will be a little bit faster. What we can do, rather than this one, we can add more the behavior here. As a, for example, a slide. A slide will be same as this, from the right to the left, and it go and disappear, and will start again. Scroll. Scroll will be something from the right to the left, and will be back from the right again. But if we select the slide, it will be like animation we use in the PowerPoint. It will start from the right and will stop here. And then we can alternate here. So it will start from the right to the left, but the space is limited. It will start. So you can add this option if you want to pay. You want to pay attention to one visual, one area of your report more than before. You can add something like this with the red and blue. and then it will be the pop up and John and let go left and right, and then the end user will pay more attention to that area. So okay, so let me just change that to this cruel again, and then the other thing you can change is the direction of this direction. So in the direction, I can say go from the left to right, or from the right to left, or we can say from up to down or down to up. So if I said this one is rather than screw to slide, it will start from the bottom and we will stop here. So that's the marquee we can add here. So I think that's it for the Google HTML and Google Phone and the HTML tags. Is there any question so far?
Yes, there is one.
I can see.
Yeah.
I can see Suhail raise a hand.
You can add, please.
Sorry. Can you repeat that? I didn't get that.
Hi, Wahid.
Hey. Hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. And this is pretty cool feature and pretty cool technique for using a text box. The question that I have you tried this method with calculation groups and calculation items? Because that can be a very powerful technique if you can, for instance, have really dynamic measures. So for instance, for Germany total sales, and if it is not sales, you can dynamically change the formatting of the measure. It may not always be currency, right? So maybe it is or maybe with not only with dollar sign, maybe with euro sign, or I don't know, with some other currency symbols. Have you tried with this?
I've not tried that one, but so it's possible, because whatever you do with DAX, you can represent here. For instance, if we do this one as a currency, and then we can add another variable here, say with another icon. So, and then said if the selected value, let me just move this one line here, and said if the country is Canada, then format that one, format and then this one, we want to change that to the say, or we can change this one. Oh, what did I do? Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's change. I write it in the wrong area. So here, rather than this one, if I change this one to, if it's country, format sum to dollar, but if it's not Canada, just add it as a euro sign. So if you added it, or you find the euro sign here or here, where is that? Okay, so let me just use this one rather than the euro sign here. Okay, so and then close that one, and then just change that from the sale to the sale icon here. If I change that to the sale icon, and then if I use the, oh, sorry. So here, this one doesn't work. So here, let me just remove that one, and then say if country, say the country to here. Oh, yeah. So if I select the Germany, it will use without that one. But if I select the Canada, so let me just go there. It will show the sign here. So you can use whatever you want, but you can represent whatever you created inside the DAX in the HTML, because it will consider that as a text, not as a something very dynamic. So the output after that variable, whatever you put here, will be represented here. I hope I cover your question.
That's pretty cool. Well, I think with the calculation groups, we need to do a little bit more
Yeah.
research.
With the calculation
But
group,
this
it's
is
a little bit
very
hard.
powerful,
Yeah, I know
man.
what you mean.
It's very powerful.
Yeah, but with the calculation group, if you create that one in the tabular editor and then want to add that in the matrix, then you need to change the output, create the different text here, and then add that or create a HTML table and add those information there. But I'm not.
I see.
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated, man. I don't know if it's possible or not. I never tried that.
Yeah. Thanks for that, man.
Thank you, man. No worries.
Thanks, Sohail, for this question. And one more thing, Vahid, like from YouTube, some people are asking, like, will you share this file with them for their, practice purpose?
Yeah, so, they can already find that in my blog. I added this here. So if in the dark mode here, all the information is there. So if they use open this one, they can download the sample file here.
Perfect. And if you can just paste the link in chat window, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to create that one a little bit more complicated at the end, just want to show this one that I create a video and put it in the LinkedIn. So the text for that one is like this. So I added more complicated variable and added them to the HTML code, and that's worked very well. Here you can see if it's increased, it will highlight it with green. If I change, for example, here, if I change this one, some other area with the decrease, so it seems Bitcoin always go up. Oh, okay, finally. So in this day, when it's decreased, it will highlight with the red, and then you can change that font of your text messages, or you can set the font size, or you can change that highlight to highlight the text or don't highlight that one. And then if you have a limited, if you don't have enough space, you can use this text and with marquis to show the information in a small space. You show many information there.
Perfect. It's look really cool, and thank you so much, Vahid, for this amazing session, because you've shown us many cool tricks using we can make our report more better. So that is helpful to everyone, and I would just like to tell you the overall session analytics. So from YouTube Live, so far 80 plus people joined us, and thank you so much for this wonderful session, and people really appreciating your session. And one more question comes up just now when I'm speaking. It is from YouTube Live. So the question is, like, if we publish this report, even if Power BI service doesn't support this font, it would work? That is the question.
Yeah, 100% it work, because I published that one. Let me just go to Power BI and show that to you. So this is the same one, and with the Google font. So you can change the font here to whatever you want, and it will follow. It will change that one even in the Power BI service.
That's great. All right. So I think we are pretty good with the questions. Thank you so much, Vahid, for this wonderful session and answering all of the questions from the audience. So we are happy to have you in our event, and definitely in our upcoming events as well. We will definitely love to have you again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be in your user group, and thanks for having me, and thank you people for joining this session, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, everyone. And if anyone has any questions, Wahid's social media handles are posted on my LinkedIn or our official user group page. If you have any question on that, maybe after this session as well, you can go over connect Wahid on all his social media handles. And uh, Abhinav, do you want to add anything else over here? I think you are on mute, Abhinav.
No, thanks. I'm good. Thanks so much, Wahid.
Yes, and I
Uh,
just wanted to announce one thing like next month we will have our next user group event. So stay tuned with us on all our social media handles from where we can announce our next month event. So stay tuned. Till then, wishing you all a happy weekend and have a great day ahead. Thank you so much, Vahid, once
Thank
again.
you, everyone. Have a good one. Cheers. Bye.
Bye bye.
Cheers.